it would have never happened. And we did talk about it. I mean, he definitely wanted Ukraine, loved Ukraine, would never have happened.
What do you see happening next then? Because it seems like the tensions are high. How does this all end? Is this going to be like a long-term thing? How do you see it unfolding?
Well, and I said this a long time ago, if this happens, we are playing right into their hands, green energy. The windmills, they don't work. They're too expensive. They kill all the birds. They ruin your landscapes. And yet the environmentalists love the windmills. And I've been preaching this for years. The windmills, and I had them way down, but the windmills are the most expensive energy you can have. And they don't work. And by the way, they last a period of 10 years. And by the time they start rusting and rotting all over the place, nobody ever takes them down.
Windmills. And that was former President Donald Trump being asked on a videotaped podcast from the Ultimate Fighting Championship about Russia's war in Ukraine. And Donald Trump gave this very long-winded answer about windmills. He said they're too expensive, they're ugly, they're a waste, they don't work. And again, the question was about Russia's war in Ukraine and where it's headed. There is this argument that is made in some conservative circles that if the United States were more energy independent, then something like the Russian war in Ukraine and the U.S. sanctions would not have such a dramatic impact on U.S. gas prices. And so perhaps if you run this through the Donald Trump translator, perhaps that's what he was trying to get at, that there have been some Democrats and progressives who say, look, the way to become more energy independent is to have more renewable sources of energy like windmills. And Donald Trump's trying to sort of tamp down that argument. But again, the fact that it was so sort of bewildering that he would respond this way in such a scattershot sort of approach, perhaps that underscores why the host from the Ultimate Fighting Championship video podcast had that case of beer by his side. Now, regarding this debate of whether the United States, as Donald Trump insists, should be drilling for more oil and gas, or the United States should be investing in more renewable sources of energy like windmills, let's clarify a couple things about windmills. Despite what Donald Trump said, they are actually cost effective. It's about 1 to 2 cents per kilowatt hour, which is competitive. Windmills and their electricity are also sold at a fixed price over a long period of time, say 20 years. In other words, the price is predictable. You can count on it. Unlike the instability that comes with oil and gas, it can go up, it can go down by the day, and that can cause a shock to the energy system and cause spikes in prices. Windmills are also clean, they don't pollute the air, and there's an abundant supply of wind that is inexhaustible, unlike fossil fuels. There is a downside to windmills, and that is some of the best locations are in more rural areas. And that may be far away from cities that need the electricity, and the areas near cities may not have enough wind. And secondly, the turbines can cause some noise pollution and be aesthetically not very pleasing. And oh yes, there can be an impact on wildlife and birds. So yes, there are some challenges with windmills. They're just not quite what Donald Trump was talking about. And he was supposed to be talking about Russia's war in Ukraine and where it's headed to the Ultimate Fighting Championship podcast host. The reason this matters is that Donald Trump is 76 years old, and there are some growing concerns now among conservatives, among Republicans, that maybe Donald Trump is too old. Maybe he has lost a step. Donald Trump doesn't seem to think so. He has talked to aides about declaring his 2024 presidential ambitions perhaps this summer. He was apparently talked out of that and is now planning an announcement after the midterms. And Donald Trump has also told friends and family that one of the first things he would do if he's elected president is put in his own attorney general, who would then squelch all of the Department of Justice investigations of him. But I'm not so sure that Donald Trump running for the presidential nomination and winning the GOP nomination is necessarily a lock now. Polls show that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is actually even or ahead of Donald Trump in several battleground state polls. The January 6 hearings seem to have had an impact on Donald Trump's standing among Republicans. And then there's just this question about him seeming sort of scattered and not particularly focused. And this is a guy who wasn't very focused to begin with when he was president of the United States. And oh, by the way, if you're asked by the Ultimate Fighting Championship podcast host about the war in Ukraine, and you give this long rambling response about windmills, that's going to be concerning even to Republicans. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us. Tell me what you think in the comment section.